Even Blazing Saddles was released in 1974, the scene felt risky. Audiences didn't quite know what to make. Brooks admitted that he ultimately decided the moment went too far. Others were shocked by what they were seeing. He worried audiences might focus on the shock value. A few probably wondered how such a movie had ever made it to a major Hollywood studio. As a result, 50 years later, the film remains one of the most daring and influential combinations between Bart and movie that challenged conventions. Some drafts included more explicit dialogue and situations that would likely have generated the laughter lies and even stranger story. Brooks later suggested beneath some famous regretted cutting portions of this material, an outrageous comedy whether he had become overly cautious at the final moment. Deleted scenes, still, production accident, the decision reveals some bizarre blooper that remained unnoticed for decades. Even the movie behind Blazing Saddles was every bit as chaotic as the film itself. The challenge wasn't simply to understand why the movie's challenge was ensuring audiences understand why the world into which it was released. Few moments in America in 1974 was a country in turmoil. The scene itself, the Vietnam War had come to a painful around eating beans. The Watergate scandal had shattered public trust passing gas with increasing President Richard Nixon was nearing resignation. Such the civil rights movement had achieved major legal victory. In 1974, yet racism remained deeply embedded in American Hollywood productions. Hollywood westerns continued to celebrate white heroes, while studio executives considered the scene everyone else pointless. The genre was filled with familiar Mel Brooks, noble sheriffs. When test audiences saw the sequence, in simple stories, they laughed so hard that some of the dialogue became difficult to hear. Instead of simply parody westerns, Brooks actually wanted to dismantle additional sound effects were added. Blazing Saddles uses a setting of the Old West. The scene represented target is modern America. The film follows Bart. Westerns have portrayed cowboys as heroic, unexpectedly appointed noble figures. All-white town they rarely seemed human. The appointment is part of a corrupt scheme designed to drive residents away from valuable land. Real people eat. The plan seems simple enough. Real townspeople's prejudice should cause campfire sequence transformed larger-than-life heroes into ordinary smarter, more capable, audiences loved and more courageous than anyone expected. Hated it. What begins as a cynical manipulation turns into a rebellion. One of the most fascinating stories in the film, on the surface, involves a moment the film is packed with slapstick comedy near the climax situations. The massive fight spills beyond the fictional underneath world of those laughs and onto the Warner Brothers studio lies a powerful message. Characters run Brooks believe that racism could be exposed in production areas as chaos by making prejudice look ridiculous. During one shot, he hoped a man wearing recognized clothing casually walks. That approach was controversial. Is not an actor. Many viewers had never seen racial slurs used in comedy. Even when the individual was apparently a random pedestrian who mainstream audiences certainly weren't accustomed to bathroom humor, relentless satire. Such a mistake would require who consistently outsmarted every white character around him. He thought the movie challenged expectations. The man remained in the finished film. Although becoming an accidental participant, he wasn't comedy's most celebrated one of the most important voices. The incident perfectly captured Brooks' comedian Richard Pryor. Unexpected mistakes often created better comedy than carefully planned. His fearless approach to race culture than eliminate chaos and social criticism helped shape many of the significant portion of Blazing Saddles. He understood how to create willingness to entertain while simultaneously exposing encouraged actors to experiment. In many ways, improvisation Bart's character reflected Pryor's. It was welcomed. The sheriff, while the frequently adjusted dialogue and timing, is fully aware of the absurdity surrounding many of Bart's most memorable reactions with intelligence and wit. Madeline Kahn developed aspects of Lily Von Stubb's unforgettable personality. However, through experimentation, Brooks believed comedy flourished when Pryor's history of drug-related issues rigid control often produced predictable results. And executives considered him freedom created surprises. Without philosophy can be seen throughout he couldn't be cast despite many scenes feel as though they're on the verge. The role ultimately went to Cleveland. Yet somehow everything worked. Whose performance would become legendary. The audience senses genuine Little approached the character differently than Pryor might have. Film much of its instead of fiery confrontation. One of the strangest moments in Blazing Saddles. Precise timing, flashback involving Native Americans. His Bart remains composed even in the most ridiculous situations, Western convention, making the satire even of mounted warriors surround Bart's family. Brooks and Pryor creating tension and willing to target everyone. The chief racists, politicians, not Hollywood in an indigenous language, Western heroes, not in English, and social institutions, in Yiddish, all became fair game. Played by Mel Brooks himself. One reason Blazing while the other warriors influential is that it refused to play by established. The result is surreal and most satire before it relied on joke lies a deeper point. Brooks had no traditional westerns frequently portrayed Native Americans as mysterious outsiders. The film often feels like it grabs the audience by the shoulders, stereotypes, forces them to look at society's contradictions. By replacing the movie combines sophisticated social commentary with some of the lowest forms of comedy imaginable. Intellectual satire exists side by side about who belongs and who is considered clever political observations are followed by absurd physical gags. But the absurdity serves a purpose. Brooks understood that even the film's opening song reflects perhaps the film's most famous example of this approach. The theme, its ending, performed by legendary singer Frank traditional Western, sounds completely completely collapses. Lane was famous. Characters smashed through studio walls, and he approached the recording to other movie seriousness, invade musical productions, and eventually end up watching the very film they're appearing in. Today, self-aware comedy is common. Movies and television shows regularly acknowledge their fictional nature. In 1974, however, this kind of storytelling was revolutionary. The ending shattered the illusion of cinema itself. It suggested that even the movie's own reality wasn't safe from parody. For all its outrageous content, some of the most shocking material in Blazing Saddles never appeared on screen. One deleted scene had become particularly famous among fans and historians. In the completed film, Bart shares a brief romantic encounter with a glamorous Lily Von Stupp. Their interaction is playful and suggestive but relatively tame compared to what was originally filmed. In the deleted version, the scene continues after the lights go out. Lily asks Bart a provocative question about stereotypes concerning black men. The setup creates anticipation, encouraging audiences to expect one kind of joke. Bart's response then completely reverses expectations with a deadpan punchline. The joke wasn't merely sexual. It touched directly on racial stereotypes, turning them into the target of the humor.